What's good? This is Marcus the Fingaz back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk all about the Soundtheory Gullfoss plugin. Before we get into that, go to defingaz.com/free plugins, defingaz.com/free plugins. Check out my free plugins gear guide for free plugins that you can use in your audio productions, mixing and mastering. Now let's talk about Gullfoss. If you're not familiar with Gullfoss, it's sort of like a dynamic EQ, but it does so much more. I literally just got it today. Shout out to the whole team over at Soundtheory for providing this at a great deal. You can also get it on a 2-week trial. I will include links for the website, but before we get into that, let's just listen to how it works. I'm going to play a little bit of the track that I'm working on here. Nothing too crazy. I have a drum loop going on from Cymatics. I also have some drums that I programmed using Pulse and Hortator from the Loops. I have some pads from Heaviosity, Mosaic pads. I have some strings from Superpower Audio. It's not instrument strings, it's actually the Fracture strings, the new library they just released. I believe it's called Fracture strings or Fractured strings, something like that. I also have a cymbal roll and a timpani roll that I use, one of my favorite custom ones. And then I have the 808 from Logic Stock Alchemy. I have the Mosaic bass going on from Heaviosity, and I also have Chapters piano from, I believe it's Piano Book from Superpower Audio. Then I have Native Instruments Glaze. I'm going to play a little bit of what's going on right about here. And we'll play a little bit more here. This has the addition of the pads going on. So hopefully you got that in your head, in your mind. We're going to open up on my master channel strip here. I've disabled a lot of the plugins that I use when I'm trying to demo, like what's the best mastering for this track. I have a bunch of other plugins. You see them here. I'm not going to talk about any of them, but feel free to look at them there. I'll probably do some other videos on those if I don't have it already. We're going to go to audio units here in Logic Pro. We're going to go to Soundtheory. You have 3 different versions. You have Gullfoss Live, which is ideal for a live situation, live band, live performance. You also have the Master, which is great for master projects. I think it does a little bit more subtle processing, but I don't have the licenses for those. What I have is the Gullfoss, just pretty much all around plugin that most people have. This is the blue version. You might hear it called that, where you have this blue version. I believe Master and Live have a little bit different skin colors. So there's a lot going on here. Let me show you what we have going on. First, we have you have the Gullfoss logo. Of course, I might be saying it wrong. I don't even know what it means, but you have the Gullfoss logo up there. You have, if you can see, I'll probably zoom in on here, but you have Recover, you have Tame, you have Bias, you have Brighten and Boost. For most people, Recover and Tame are like the opposite, so I'm going to try to explain this. Recover will basically find the frequencies within your track, and it will bring out the ones that are sort of hidden or masked by other things going on. And then Tame will do the opposite. It will find the sort of frequencies and things that are sticking out the most and take those back. And you can adjust and balance those levels there using the percentage knobs here. I believe most of the videos and reviews I saw, they say start around 40% and then tweak from there. That way you get an idea of what's going on. And then after that, you have, we'll come back to Bias at the end, but you have Brighten, which adds some things on the top end there, and then you have Boost, which adds a little bit of things on the mid-low frequencies. So those are a little bit opposites too. And then with Bias, what Bias does, think of it as a weight. So it basically puts more weight on the Recover or the Tame option, depending on how high you have that or how low you have that. So you have all the way from -100 all the way up to 100. So you have a 200% sort of swing ratio there with the Bias option. And with the Recover and Tame, you also can go all the way up to 200%. So you have a lot of options here. Again, we're going to start with, I'm going to play that same clip I just played. We're just going to tweak some of the settings here. I'm going to start with 40%. I'm going to bypass the plugin first. So here is it bypassed. And I'm going to tell you what I think it's going to do. I think it's going to maybe bring down some of the mids. I think it's going to bring down some of the lows and maybe add a little bit to the highs. But it might do something totally different. And again, it's more like doing it dynamically as you play. So I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to see what's going to happen. So yeah, so basically, as you can see, it's sort of taming some of the lows there, bringing some of the lows down. Some of the highs, it's like cranking the highs up. It's really adding some clarity to the mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass, this is just with 40%, just to recover and tame. I'm going to play it back and then bypass and unbypass. When you see that this is blue, that means it is going through the Gullfoss plugin. And when this is not blue like this sort of like that black grayish color, that means that the system is bypassed and you're just hearing the non-Gullfoss version. Here we go. So yeah, I really like what it's doing. It's a little subtle in the mix, but I really like that, and it's really great for putting it on your master channel. I've talked to some people who have used it on some of the drum programming and things like that. We're going to tweak some of the bias, brighten, and boost settings and play it back. Here we go. And if you look at the frequencies as I boost, as you see, it's boosting the low mids, and then when I brighten, it boosts the highs there. And even though it says brighten and boost, you might think that you can only go up, but you can also go down. So if you decrease the brighten, that will obviously bring down some of the highs. If you decrease the boost, that will bring down some of the lows there. There are also some hidden settings in here. What are the hidden settings? You have these red lines. So what you can do is you can say, hey, I like what Gullfoss is doing on these frequencies right here. You can have the red lines be sort of your range of where Gullfoss is affecting the sound, and it can leave the lows or wherever you put these, the highs and lows. You can just have like a Gullfoss on a band pass frequency there. So this is what that sounds like without the lows and highs. And so what you can do is you can, as you saw, I can cross the frequency. So let's say I only want to affect, I believe, the low end there, or maybe it makes them, maybe it switches sides. I think it switches sides there. So if you want nothing happening, there's very minimal things happening here that you can hear. And then if I switch them, let's put this back over here. It will only affect what's in between. So the white, blue things is what's affecting what you hear. If it's in the red, you're not going to hear that happening. I don't know what those lines are called, but looks great. Then you have a sidechain option. I haven't really messed with that yet, so let's see what happens. So with sidechain, I chose terrible input, but I chose the drum loop there, and that will sidechain so that when the drum loop is playing, the Gullfoss effect is not happening, and then the opposite. When the drum loop stops playing, the Gullfoss effect comes in more. So you can have you can get some really great effects going on with the side chaining with Gullfoss. Overall, I really like the plugin. From what I've seen from some of the videos, I think there is sort of a way where you can put Gullfoss under some of your mastering plugins before or after. Really just trial and error. Try to see what works for you. You might want to put it before or after some mastering and limiting and things to see what sounds best. obviously what sounds best is really what works best for you. So yeah, I really like the plugin. Shout out to the whole Sound Theory team for providing this plugin at a great discount. Be on the lookout. I don't know if they're doing any sales or anything anytime soon, but you do have some holidays coming up, so maybe you might find a good deal around the holidays. Just keep your eyes open. Until then, you can get a 2-week trial. I will include a link in one of these corners and also in the description where you can check out Gullfoss. Again, shout out to Sound Theory. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm gonna actually look forward to using this on my trailer music stuff. I do a lot of trailer music things, so I want to include this on that in addition to my my hip hop, my pop, my sync licensing stuff. So yeah, great plugin. It's probably going to be a staple on my stereo output track or stereo output bus. So thanks everyone for checking it out. Again, go to defingaz.com/free plugins, defingaz.com/free plugins. Check out some free plugins that you can use in your music productions and audio projects. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right, peace.